1 year later, it has been a real exciting ride. Getting to have my loved ones here by my side. Teenage me would love to find a reason to why, 'cause I'm shy now. This version of Joel wants to be your dog and guide. Another new season of Not Your Average Joel starts right now. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Not Your Average Joel. So as y'all can tell, I'm not in my room. I'm actually at an Airbnb here in Greenville, South Carolina. I had to make sure I got that right. I was telling Justin right before I started the recording, I said, let me make sure I got the state right, because I'm in between North and South Carolina today. So stopped here in South Carolina. So yeah, we were here. We actually have a couple more people that will be joining us this weekend, but they are not here yet. So we thought that we would go ahead and do an episode. It isn't the topic that we've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. So now that we have the time to do it, I want to welcome back Justin to my channel. It's always good having him here. He's been on here a few times. Last time you were here, I think we played like a game about like states, like it was like fun facts about different states. So yeah, so it's always good having him back here. And I know he's been pretty busy. He's got a lot going on, but it's always good when he has the time, to get on here. It's always good having him here. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, most definitely. And also, shout out to Justin. He got me some Chick-fil-A large Coke. He was asking, you want anything? I said, large Coke. So got some large Coke here. And yeah, so I think I'm going to go and tell everybody what this topic is about. So today's topic of the day is actually going to be on sports. So I want to talk about sports because this is something that affects not only Americans, even though it's a big part of like what brings entertainment in America, but like it's like a worldwide thing. Of course, as y'all know, with like Olympics, and then even just different sports like soccer or football, for example, where everybody is very involved with that sport in basically every continent. So, I wanted to talk about sports. I think it's a fun little thing just to not only get to know me a little bit more, but also to get to know Justin a little bit more and to get to know y'all a little bit more. So y'all can definitely answer these questions on in the comments on my YouTube page, or even on or even you can DM me on my Instagram at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. So I do have a few questions that I'm going to be asking Justin, and of course I'm going to be responding and giving my input as well, because these can pertain to anybody really. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump into this first question. So my first question that I have here is, did you play any sports growing up?
So I did like a mixed array of sports. I did baseball, like in my elementary school days. I did soccer in my elementary school days. I did tennis in middle school, but I kind of really sucked at it. And then in high school, I was the tennis manager all 4 years. And the band, because the school that I went to, the county recognizes band as a sport.
Okay.
So if you're in band, it's a varsity sport. So I was a varsity letterman all 4 years of high school because I was a tennis manager and in band, which nobody ever thinks band as a sport.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, they counted it. So I loved it. So I guess band. But that's the biggest thing because, I played sports a little bit, but I never went all of my grade year or whatever, doing sports. So.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty cool that they consider band a sport, because really it is a sport within itself, because there's a lot of movement that gets involved with that nowadays, especially. I know when I was in high school, the band stuff that I seen my friends do, of course there was always that synchronization and you got to be in this, you got to make a letter out of people and stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays, I saw my nephew a couple of weeks ago at a band competition, and just seeing how more advanced things have gotten, where they're using more things, they're including dance moves, and there's all kind of just different aspects that get thrown into bands. So I could definitely see why people would consider it a sport.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but and we were really supported by our football team and our cheerleading team, which a lot of bands are not fortunate. A lot of people are like, boo the band. But, you know, like when we have big sporting events, the band was there and everyone always, you know, cheered with the band and stuff. So we were really blessed with that. So
Yeah, that's awesome because like you are right that it does seem like people look at bands as like those nerds, those geeks, and all of that, and like for them to actually support y'all and to be they're rooting y'all on. I think that's pretty awesome.
yeah.
And also, it does take a lot of talent to be in a band. Of course, you got to know how to play an instrument, or you know, if you're like a color guard, like twirl the flags and stuff like that. So it takes a lot of work, and I know y'all have to go through like the band camp stuff during the whole summer.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Really hot days. It lasts until the night.
Yeah.
And so y'all definitely put in as much work as a football team or cheerleader or you know whoever that may be. So yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I wish I actually did have that like as an interest growing. Like now that I look back on like my high school life, basically like things I was involved with. I kind of wish I did band and like was interested in it, but for some reason it never was really an interest for me. But you know, I guess I don't even know what instrument I would have played, even if I wanted to be in band, because the only thing I know how to play is like a little bit of keyboard, but I'm not sure if they really. I mean, they may have keyboard in marching band now, but it might not really be as big. But
that or like xylophone. Like, I mean, you know, a lot of people play that, so
so that would be
I
a
guess
good.
that would be the same thing, kind of.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. So, but unfortunately, a band is not on my list. I only have one sport on my list.
What is that?
It was soccer, and I only played it for 1 year. I was 9 years old, and I decided I wanted to play soccer, and my dad was actually my coach. And yeah, well, he originally wasn't my coach. There was another guy that was my coach, but he needed some help because I don't think he knew what he was doing. So, but my dad really didn't know what he was doing either. Because my dad has always taught, coached football, baseball, basketball. Those were like his three primary areas where he was a little bit more advanced in, I guess. But yeah, with soccer, he has never done. That was his only year that he coached soccer. So I guess, well, I don't know. I was supposed to say I almost said he did good, but we went 2-6. So like we lost more than we won. But
well, I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we got the 2 wins at least. We didn't get the 0. We didn't get the 0 wins. So I guess we can at least be proud of ourselves for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember our team name was like the Gators or something. It's like, and it wasn't even nothing to do with Florida. I think it's because we were wearing green, so maybe that's where the Gators came into that. Which it's not really that original, but oh well, we were kids. So yeah, that was the only sport, and I feel like some of it was my own fault, like for not continuing on soccer, because I feel like I held myself back. Like I wish I would have continued on, and I feel like I held myself back because I have asthma. So I was thinking that maybe if I continued on, because it was affecting my asthma pretty bad, but I probably could have still managed to get through it, but like just kind of not gone as hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, now kind of looking back on it, like band and soccer are like 2 things that I kind of wish I did. Like with soccer, I wish I would have continued it, and then with band I wish I would have started, like had an interest in it. But I was a little bit more into like choir when I was in high school. So that was definitely nice and fun, and I mean I've even throughout the years gone in and out of different choirs, whether it's my church choir, whether it's school choir, even elementary choir. I was in like all county, where like all of the schools from all around Birmingham area did that. So yeah, so soccer was the only one, but I wish I would have continued on, because I feel like I would have, not saying that I would have been really good at it, but I just felt like I would have really enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
So it was the idea of like playing any other sport like football. Like I know it's going to sound like a wimp, but like I really don't want to get tackled.
That's me too. I remember sitting like in the high school stands with my grandpa, and he would offer me $100 if I would go play football because he wanted to see me play, and I was like, I'm not doing it. Because if somebody runs up to me to try and tackle me, I'm just going to give them the ball and just be
Yeah.
like, run away, don't like leave me alone. So I'd rather sit in the stands, you know, play in the band. So that's what I did.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I'm at with that too. Is there people would say that I was definitely back in high school. I was a little bit even more bigger built. So everybody's like, you have like the right kind of body and like stature to be a football player, but it's like, but no, but it ain't for me.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And so I think even like with basketball, like I feel like I'm not quick enough like to play basketball and even baseball. Like I think I would be in my head the whole time, like swing now. It's like all right, you strike three, you're out. So yeah, so I think soccer is like the only one sport where I feel like I could have probably done good if I didn't hold myself back. But it is what it is. We're here now, so and so I'll play soccer just for fun, I guess, just out of leisure. Whether it's like during the holidays when we go over for Thanksgiving or Easter with some family, or whatever. So my next question is a pretty easy one. I'm sure the answer is obvious right here, but my next question is, who are some of your favorite teams to root for? And that's both college and pro sport.
Well, college is obviously the Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other blue except Carolina blue. Everybody remember that. That's what I always say. College football, which is, like I said, it's so weird because I've never wanted to play, but I always had an interest in it. You know, I started watching it. It wasn't that long ago, maybe like 5 years ago or so. But I love going to Kenan Stadium and, you know, watching the Tar Heels play, whoever they play. You know, Sam Howell, he was a quarterback. He played for the Washington Commanders. And Drake May, I think, is going to do really good whenever he gets drafted too. And then for college basketball, it's still Carolina. You know, going to the Dean Dome and watching them play and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, it's really just Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina all the way.
Carolina blue.
And even in pro sport too. Like
you said pro sports too.
Yeah, the Carolina Panthers.
This season, I hate to admit it because they're 0-6, but you know they haven't done good. But I have a license. The Carolina Panthers license plate on my car, so you know I can't really change it that easy.
Yeah, you still gotta stay loyal.
But I mean they're 0-6, and then the Atlanta Braves, which I know that's where we met.
Yeah, that's one thing we definitely have in common.
And then we saw each other at another game that we didn't even realize that each other were going to.
And
but definitely, the Atlanta Braves. They kind of messed up this year in the postseason, but that's okay. You know, there's always next year. But
man,
I don't know. Yeah, them two, and then I don't really watch any other sports.
Yeah.
Except baseball and football. So
yeah,
those would have to be my teams.
All right, yeah, well that definitely makes sense. You are a true blue all the way when it comes to Carolina, and I don't blame you, especially if you live in that area. You just you're almost drawn to that immediately. That's kind of how I am with football, especially with college football. Of course, Roll Tide. That's me.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama, and I did have a second team, which is UAB, only because I went there. And so, like, I graduated from there. So, I do have to throw y'all in. So, go Blazers, too. I'll give y'all a little go Blazers there. But deep down in my heart, Roll Tide. So, if I was living closer to Tuscaloosa, I would have gone there. But Birmingham is closer to me than Tuscaloosa. So, yeah, so as far as college sports, basically Alabama, UAB, in that order for every sport. And then as far as, like, pro sports, yeah, Atlanta Braves, of course. You know, as he mentioned, that's actually how we met for the first time. We met up in Atlanta and went to a Braves game.
And then met. Good trip.
Yeah, that was a really good trip. And we actually saw each other again, like he said, earlier this year at a game that we didn't realize we were at the same game. So, which that was a good game too. So yeah, Atlanta Braves. As far as NFL, I don't really watch NFL much, and I know people are going to go crazy if I say this, but I actually do kind of like the Saints and the Falcons, which everyone's going to be saying, oh, you can't do that. Because it's almost like in college football, it's like saying you root for Alabama and Auburn. You can't do that. That's a no-no in Alabama. You have to choose one or the other. And I only say I support the Saints a little bit. I think I support the Falcons a little bit more. But my first NFL game and my only NFL game was at a Saints game. Me and some of my family back in 2011, so 12 years ago, we saw the Saints play the Texans and at the Superdome, and it was a really like fun, entertaining, and also I think I was rooting for them at the time because our first Heisman winner, Mark Ingram, was playing there, and I don't think he does anymore now, but at the time he was. So we were like happy. I think we saw him get his first touchdown also there.
Oh, really?
So
That's really
I think that's what made it really exciting. So yeah, but I would say I would almost take the Saints out because that was the only game I've ever seen them play. But I do like them a little bit. I'll give them maybe like third place. But I would say I would either root for the Falcons or the Titans, just because those are both like conveniently the closest to me, Atlanta and Nashville. So there's that as far as football. Basketball, I mean the Hawks, I guess. But I feel like our family is like all over the place. Like I have one brother that supports the Hawks, one brother that supports the Heat, and there's just so many different teams. The Pelicans, which is in New Orleans, so it's like we're all over the place. But there is like we do support our local teams, like minor teams. I didn't really bring that one into the question, but we do in Birmingham have like a hockey team called the Birmingham Bulls, so we do support them. And then also, what else do we have? Oh yeah, we have a soccer team. They're called Birmingham Legion, and then we have Birmingham Barons, which is a baseball team, and then the Birmingham Squadron, which is a basketball, and I feel like there's one more. Y'all gonna, I know if any families listening to this, y'all are gonna be like, you forgot the last one, but I know there's one more. But yeah, so I do support our local teams as well. So yeah, that's probably my answer. I know those were probably boring answers. Y'all probably already knew the questions to those, but hey, that's a little bit more that you know for sure about us. So there you go.
That's like we have a lot of minor league teams too. That I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
Living right outside Charlotte, we have Charlotte Hornets, which they're a NBA team, but I don't really watch basketball.
Yeah.
I'll go and just kind of hang out with friends because I have a lot of friends that like them, and I'll go watch them. And act like I know who the players are, but I know a few players from Carolina that have went into the NBA that are playing for the Hornets, and then like our AAA team, the Charlotte Knights, and then the minor league hockey team, the Charlotte Checkers. And then the Ori Wampus Cats, which is a wooden college baseball team. So there's a lot of like little teams like y'all have that, and the Charlotte Football Club, Charlotte FC.
Oh yeah.
They play at Bank of America where the Panthers play, but I've never.
Yeah, you just reminded me when you said football club. That was the last team. They're called the Birmingham Stallions. I should remember that because last year I went to Ohio to see them win the championship. So how did I forget that? But that was the last one that I was thinking of. So that's good that you even support your minor teams too. You gotta be loyal to Charlotte all the way. Charlotte and North Carolina. So my next question here that I have is who are some of your favorite athletes that you find to be inspirational? Even if it's just one, is there one that comes to mind?
I think like Michael Jordan kind of comes to mind.
Yeah.
He's the first. Not because he played for Carolina, but he did play for Carolina. And then I think he was born in New York, but like he considers like his hometown like Wilmington, North Carolina. And he got, I can't think of the coach's name. His first win. But he's always inspired me. He's just done a lot of great things in the community. And he still does. And then one thing I kind of figured out was Austin Riley. The third baseman. He started as a rookie, but he's really made a name for himself in Major League Baseball. And one thing he always says is that you can always be better, at something that you're good at, which I think is really cool because, I think we get really good at stuff and then we get really comfortable and we don't realize that we can always improve ourselves and improve on on things that even that we're good at. So I know it's kind of short, but those are just the two that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I do like definitely Michael Jordan. I almost said Michael Jackson. Y'all were about to go crazy.
That's funny because I've been sitting here thinking, I'm like telling myself in my mind, I'm like, Michael Jordan, not Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's like, I was just about to say
I
Michael
keep
Jackson.
thinking, and I'm like, oh, not Michael Jackson.
But yeah, Michael Jordan is definitely a really good one because he did play for the Birmingham Barons as well. So shout out to
there you go.
shout out to
I didn't know
that. Yeah, I'll give a little bit of a shout out because he did play for them for a little bit, and I feel like that was even on Space Jam also. That I think the Birmingham Barons. Yeah, so that was so that's awesome too. And then I think even Austin Riley. I think I like when athletes are like they're about like they give some like valuable life lessons that I feel like anybody can take, and I feel like when athletes are not when their ego is not so big and like they don't have a big head because they're so good and they make all this money, that I feel like when they kind of they make us feel like they're on our level, like we're all equal. I like those kind of athletes. I know one that came to mind for me. If you asked me 2007, 2008 range, I would say heck no to this person. But now, seeing how this person has grown, I love like seeing Tim Tebow. I feel like he's a really good one. Like I think back when he was playing in Florida, I do feel like he had a little bit of pride. He had a pretty big ego. And he was pretty good at what he did. But I think I was pretty happy when they lost to Alabama one year and he was like crying on camera. I do admit I do kind of like that because it's like, yes, we beat him. but as he got out of college and now he's like doing these like amazing organizations like the prom that he throws for like people with special needs. I forget the exact name for it, but like I love seeing those moments where like he's making their dreams come true and like everyone's cheering for them coming in, and I love seeing that and just seeing all the things that he stands for as a Christian as well. Like he's unapologetically like a Christ follower, and he loves to put his faith out there. He talks about even stuff like human trafficking, and I just love seeing all of the stuff that Tim Tebow posts out there and just how inspirational he is, and like it makes you wanna do good and like serve others like the way he does. So I think definitely Tim Tebow comes to mind, and then a few others is definitely going to sound biased, so I'm gonna warn everybody. Is I would say like the last few Alabama quarterbacks that we've had that went into NFL, because I feel like these last four that we have, well, especially I know definitely two of them are very like faith based. Like it seems like every time, like whenever they win, that they give glory to God. It seems like regardless, like Tua that plays for the Miami Dolphins. Like I love like seeing stuff that Tua posts, and then and even I do have to give the Carolina Panthers a shout out with Bryce Young, even though he's not doing that great at the moment. But I do love his like determination and like he ended up winning the Heisman back in college, and like he's a really good player. He just hadn't got out there on a good start, but he's not letting nothing get the best of him. So I think definitely a Bryce Young, and even Jalen Hurts, who plays for the Eagles. Like he played at Alabama, and then he eventually moved over to Oklahoma before he got into the NFL. But I even just love seeing how, even though they were this close to winning the Super Bowl and they lost to the Chiefs, of course, but I just love seeing that I just love seeing his determination as well to like improve on, because it goes to show that no matter how good you are, there's always something to work on. There's always room for improvement in any area of our lives. So I love seeing that about Jalen and even Mac Jones, who plays for the Patriots. So I like seeing that basically our last four quarterbacks. Our current quarterback situation, we'll see about that in Alabama. But it's kind of so-so. But yeah, I think those are probably like a few that come to mind. But I really love the Michael Jordan answer, because that he even like to this day, like he's inspiring younger kids. Like even one of my nephews, like
Oh,
he
really?
loves Michael Jordan, and like he likes to have like he wants these like posters of him. He wants his Chicago Bulls like jersey and all of that. So I think that's a really good one. I think that's someone that is very inspirational to people for all his decades. Like he's been in the game since what, the 90s or so. I mean, that's 30 years worth of like just all the hard work that he's put in, and even like with the whole like tragedy that happened with his father too.
Yeah.
Like he was able to still manage. I mean, I think he eventually did kind of. Did he stop basketball maybe soon after that? But maybe, I'm not sure. But I feel like
I don't remember exactly.
But I just feel like it just shows that he like even puts his family, like he like has that care for his family and puts his family first before even his career. To where if he did end up quitting after he lost his father, I think it's kind of good on his part, like very selfless on his part to like forget the fame, forget that I'm one of the biggest and best players out there. I'm making all this money. I need to be here for my family, kind of situation. So yeah, I think that's a really good one for sure. So my next question that I have here is, what are some of your favorite sports to watch, and what are some of your least favorite sports to watch?
My least favorite, I would actually probably have to say soccer.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Charlotte FC game, but you know, and I don't watch much soccer only because I think is it like the scoring and then like how they do the penalties and stuff like that. It really confuses me. Like I have tried to watch it and I just cannot grasp the concept. Like I said, I've never been to an actual like soccer game, but you know, man, I would go just, you know, to hang out or with my friends and for the environment. But I think just the scoring it really confuses me.
Yeah.
And then golf. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I do not understand how people can watch somebody hit a ball. It's just, I don't know. But then my two favorites, or three favorites would have to be baseball, which a lot of people are like, how the heck do you watch baseball? You know, because they throw a ball and they hit the ball and stuff like that. But I found that really interesting. And then for Major League, and then, like I said, I'm not really in the NFL much. I mean, I like the Carolina Panthers, but like college football is definitely, I love college football season when it rolls around every year. Like I say, go Carolina. And then basketball, Carolina basketball, you know, college basketball. So those are probably my three favorites and my two dislikes. And I'm not saying I would never watch a soccer game or I would never watch golf, but one is just not interesting and one confuses me. And then the other three are just action packed. I remember going with some friends to a Carolina Panthers game, and you know, one of my guys' friends, he was like, "Where's that yellow line that's on TV?" And that was one of those memorable things I've ever, you know, I can always remember that. Just because I thought it was so funny because, you know, it's like the first down marker, you know, and I guess he actually thought it was going to be there and it wasn't. So, but I guess those are my favorites.
Yeah, those are good. I would agree with you as far as the golf for sure, because for one, I've never played golf. I'll play Top Golf. Like, that's so fun.
I think I've actually passed Top Golf on the way here. I was thinking about that when I drove by.
Yeah, I like me some Top Golf, like doing kind of like a golf range kind of thing, but actually playing golf and like watching someone else play golf, like I could be spending my day doing something else, like a little bit more interesting. So I'll definitely put golf up there. You know, I would used to say tennis, but I don't know why, but here on TikTok lately, I've been getting into some tennis talk. I don't know if that's what it's called, but
the algorithm.
Yeah, something about the algorithm. Like, I think ever since I was watching like Serena Williams, and there was who she played. She played a younger girl that she lost to.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And she played against her, and I remember like she was fussing back and forth with the guy that's doing the score and all that, and I think after that I started getting like other people's outbursts, like tennis people's outbursts, and I was like, hey, this isn't as boring as I thought it was. So I don't know, tennis actually may not be my least favorite no more, but I definitely would say golf. And I mean, I feel like it depends on the team for baseball. Like if I'm super invested, like the Braves, I love watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But like watching it from home, I don't know why. I was watching it from home. I feel like it's so boring. But like actually being there, it's fun. And I would even say that with soccer as well. Like I can never watch a soccer game on TV at home. But like actually being there in person, I actually feel like it's the energy is like up and
Yeah.
going. It's like
Like the environment.
yeah,
the
like
fan
everybody's
base.
the fan base swinging their flags and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's singing and the music and everybody's jumping. I think like the whole atmosphere of that is really fun. But yeah, like watching it on TV, probably not. But as far as favorites, I would say I have a top three. I would say football definitely. And then basketball is really fun, especially during March Madness. When you start seeing these number one seeds.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know all of it. Last year's March Madness bracket, or this previous year's March Madness bracket, everybody's was messed up from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, because we did. No, I don't think we did. Did we do? We didn't do.
I feel like we made. I don't know. I feel like maybe we did, but I feel like after day two, everybody was.
Mine was horrible. Like from the start, I was putting all these good teams, and then all the lower ranked teams were winning, and I was like, this bracket's all.
Yeah, it's like this is destroyed. I'm
throw it away. I'm done with it.
So yeah, definitely football, basketball, and I would even throw hockey in there as one of my favorites. Really? I feel like now that I've been going to these hockey games for the Birmingham Bulls, I feel like it's really interesting. Like just seeing. It seems like a fight gets broken out of nowhere, and then like just the crowd is just going so crazy, and I don't know, just something about hockey is really, really entertaining. So I would say those are my top three for sure.
Yeah.
So
I can't think of the last time I ever went to a hockey game.
Yeah.
I think it's been a while. It's been. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, I definitely recommend going to a hockey game for sure. I think it's definitely worth it. It's really a good time, I think. And that's who, like, I even support. I almost thought I was wearing a Nashville Predators shirt because I wore it yesterday on the way here. But yeah, like, I definitely root for the Nashville Predators because they're close. I guess you would probably root for the Carolina Hurricanes, maybe.
Yeah, in Raleigh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we did go there as an away team. We watched the Predators play them, and Predators won. So we were the minority there. We were like, yeah. People are like, boo, get out of here. We're like, yeah,
we won.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's how Texas felt when they beat us. Alabama. Ooh, that was a rough one. But anyways, on to my very last question here. This is a hypothetical question. So if you had like a special gift in a certain sport in the Olympics and Team USA called and they said, hey, we want you to represent our country, come to Paris next year, what sport would that be?
I actually don't. I have no idea.
I can go first with this one because
I
have
no idea.
I have two that come to mind. So if I was really good at it, the idea of doing like swimming would be really fun. But if I have to admit something, I can't go underwater without holding my nose. I've never learned how to go underwater without holding my nose. Accidentally, every time I try and I come back, I'm like hacking up a lung. So it's like if I learned how to swim, I think that would be one. And then the other one, something about gymnastics seems kind of interesting, like or either that or like even doing like the vault thing, like where you run and then like you grab that stick and you try to go over that pole.
Jump. Yeah.
I think those are like maybe and I even would throw in one more thing. Like I think it's one of those where like you spin and like you throw this, I don't know if it's a javelin or something like that.
Like the weight kind of thing? Like where you spin around in circles?
And then you throw it. Like that would be kind of interesting too. Mm-hmm. So those are a few that come to mind that I would be going to Paris for and representing USA if I had that God-given gift.
Yeah. I think isn't skiing?
Yeah.
But I think is that?
Yeah, I guess it's like maybe it's in the winter, but
obviously. But I don't know. I've been skiing before, and I had a really good time.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything else. Swimming. I like swimming, but I would rather be sitting on a pool float in a pool.
Yeah.
Just like laying back taking a nap.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah.
I don't think swimming would be my expertise, but if they made like a pickleball team.
Hey, there you go. Pickleball.
There you go. My family's really big into pickleball. So, have you ever played pickleball?
I actually haven't. That's been a pretty big trend ever since like COVID. As in, like I've been hearing everybody playing pickleball.
Well, I have a pickleball bag in my car with a bunch of paddles and balls in it. So,
oh, nice.
We'll get time this weekend.
Yeah, for real. I've never played pickleball. That would be pretty fun, actually.
I know it's so hard to try and explain though, but it's fun. So.
Yeah. So even thinking about the Winter Olympics, that would be cool too. Like I would almost think like the bobsledding would be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was good at that, or even something like I know people are gonna be like, this is so like weird. Why do you want to do this? But like figure skating, I don't know why I want to be that one that jumps and like spins 4 times and lands.
Perfect.
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah. So I think like that's like another a couple ones I'll throw in there too. If I'm thinking of winter, because like. One I know I never could do, and even if I had the determination to do it, it just would be hard. Is like track.
Oh yeah.
Doing like the hurdles, I'd be like falling over all the hurdles.
Yeah. Especially whenever you like run and you jump and then run like a little bit and jump. Yeah, I've been knocking all of them down.
Yeah, that would be like or even if it's like one of those where it's like 4 people on a team, like the 100-meter hurdle. Thing like you have to like pass the baton to somebody else.
Yeah,
I'd be like out of breath. Like I don't know if you've seen any of those TikToks, but like, but I don't know if you've seen where like people get up to the top of something and there's like this sound that people put in. It sounds like someone that's out of breath. It's like.
Yeah. That would be me probably.
That would be me. Like I was just thinking about that when I was thinking about track. That would be me the whole time. Like. Everybody else is there. Like I'm sure people are out of breath, but like my out of breath would be like taken to a whole new level. So yeah, there's definitely some sports I don't think I could ever see myself playing.
Well, there's just so many different types like of sports in the Olympics and I'm sitting here drawing a blank about all of them, but I've never really watched the Olympics though.
Yeah, I haven't really watched much of it either, except for this last one that happened. Just because I wanted to see how different it was now that COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
And it did look a little weird just because of COVID and just all the stuff they had to do. Like I don't know, it just didn't seem the same.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully this next year, whenever they do it in Paris, hopefully it would be back to somewhat of a normalcy. So. Yeah, so I think that's actually going to be it on our episode of sports. I just thought this would be a really fun kind of topic to talk about because I feel like even though I don't play sports, but I feel like it can kind of teach you lessons, like whether it's from an athlete that is like giving a lesson, like maybe just not giving up on anything that you're going after, even if it's not sport related, or even to like continue on with her faith too, like with some of these athletes that we've spoken about. So I just feel like they can teach very valuable lessons, but then even the ones that had the big egos, like it almost teaches me not to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like you say like, oh yeah, I may be good at what I do even if it's not sports, but like I may be good at what I do with my job, but I'm not gonna brag about it because at the end of the day, like we said, there's always something to improve on.
There's always something you can improve on,
Yeah, so it's just a work in progress for us. So I thought that this was a really good topic, and I appreciate you being on.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Most definitely, and I definitely appreciate y'all watching as well, whether it's been on YouTube or on the Instagram page and Not Your Average Joel, or if you're listening to this on any of the podcast streaming platforms. So anyways, everybody, I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching or listening to this. And I will see y'all on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Not Your Average Joel. You should know the drill by now, but just in case if you don't, my podcast is available not only on YouTube, but also on most podcast streaming platforms, my Instagram page at Not Your Average Joel Podcast, and I'll also have a website that you can visit at NotYourAverageJoelPodcast.com. My episodes will be coming out every Wednesdays going forward, so be sure to come back next Wednesday for a new episode. Thank you once again for your support, and I will talk to y'all in the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Goodbye.